Governor RN Ravi have long had a tussle over several issues on the functioning of the government, and in fact also several other questions, but the most important amongst them being which many experts also feel hampers the governance because it has been the issue of pending bills with the governor which were earlier passed in the state assembly. The matter has now reached the apex court, which is hearing a case filed by Tamil Nadu government accusing Governor RN Ravi of violating constitutional norms by withholding assent to bills. The council representing the Tamil Nadu government argued that the governor's role was only as an advisor to the government and that he should not be sitting in judgment like a super legislature. The council, in its argument, cited Article 111 of the Constitution, which reads that the governors shall not withhold assent to bills passed by the state legislature. In fact, representing the union government, Attorney General R. Venkataramani said that governor had not sent back bills for reenactment, but only sent it back as a first proviso. The Attorney General added that the bills requiring the governor's assent had already been addressed and that there were no bills currently pending for any approval. Now, the Supreme Court, however, has noted that the governor had taken 3 years to give assent to certain bills and stated that it did not make any sense to keep withholding assent and not send it to the legislature. In fact, the bench even said that Governor RN Ravi seemed to have adopted his own procedure in this particular matter. The bench has directed the Attorney General to show on a factual basis as to why the governor decided to withhold assent to the bills, and the matter has now been listed for a further hearing on Feb 7th, which is today. For further details, my colleague Gautam is joining us live on the broadcast. Gautam, a very good morning to you. First up, let's listen into what Governor has to say about all of this, since the matter has now reached the apex court and it is only going to snowball even further. This has been going on for a while now.
Yeah, Sakshi. So this case basically pertains to the Supreme Court, which heard petitions by the Tamil Nadu government, which basically spoke out against the Tamil Nadu governor withholding several of the bills passed by the state legislature. Now, this case basically concerns about the obligations of the governor under Article 200, which this Article 200 of the Constitution basically deals with the governor's power to assent to the bills. So, in that way, the hearing in the Supreme Court is going to be crucial, not just for Tamil Nadu, but for the role of governors across the country. Now, the Supreme Court has decided to examine whether governors have unbridled powers to withhold bills indefinitely. And in this regard is where the Supreme Court has observed very crucially that the Tamil Nadu governor seems to have adopted his own procedure and has questioned RN Ravi in this regard. Now, it's also crucial to keep in mind that the DMK government in Tamil Nadu is locked in a legal tangle with Governor Ravi over his decision to withhold assent for at least 12 bills that have been passed by the Legislative Assembly following amendments as well. That is a crucial point to note that these bills were amended and then sent to the governor, and still assent was withheld here. Now, the Supreme Court bench, which was dealing with the petition, basically challenging the refusal to clear these bills, has made some very critical observations here. Now, let me just take you through some of the most important observations that have been made by the Supreme Court here. It has asked Governor Ravi to show factually on what basis and what material did he withhold assent. So these are the questions that the Attorney General will have to answer today when the hearing resumes. And the court has also asked the Attorney General why the governor had sent 2 bills for consideration for the president. Keep in mind that the Supreme Court is observing that why are you selectively withholding? Is there any particular reason that you withhold assent for 12 bills and then a couple of bills you sent to the president? What is the thinking behind that? That is another question that has been asked. Now, all of this comes under Article 200 of the Constitution, which gives the governor the right to withhold bills for reconsideration. And but once it is passed by the again by the legislature, suppose the governor says I cannot give assent, the bill goes back to the assembly. They have made amendment, and then they have sent it back to the governor, and then the governor cannot withhold further. Is what this Article 200 has said, and that is where the Attorney General will have to respond today in the Supreme Court, Sakshi.
And a big hearing today, Gautam, of course. But there is something interesting. The council that is representing the Tamil Nadu government also in one of their arguments have said that governor's role was only as an advisor to the government and that he should not be sitting in the judgment like a super legislature. Has the Apex Court made any sort of observation around this line also?
Absolutely, Sakshi. So keep in mind that Tamil Nadu government, the DMK government here has basically been targeting the governor here, saying that you cannot withhold assent to the bills because you are not an elected representative. You have been given a power to just make sure that bills are, when they are passed by the state assembly, you have to take it forward by giving an assent or taking it to the president. But by withholding, that is something that the governor doesn't really have power to do so. So here, in this regard as well, the bill that the Article 200 is something that we have to look at very closely, which deals with the powers of the governor. Now, the governor once returns the bill with a message requesting to reconsider certain aspects of the bill in terms of first proviso, which is under Article 200. Now, a bill is present upon consideration. The governor declares he withholds assent. Now, therefore, the legislature can pass the bill again. And even then, the governor is not giving assent. So, there are two scenarios here where the governor is duty bound to give assent, but he's not doing so. So when the Supreme Court hears this matter today, it's going to be crucial on what aspect it will take the give a verdict if it does so, because Article 200 and which gives governor these rights to withhold bills or even withhold assent, that is going to be under crucial scrutiny here, Sakshi.